Hello, I'm Thab, and I'm here running a Plumber for all seasons. I've got an amazing couch behind me. BD, admin of SMW Central. Tuna formerly routed this game and gave me the template to be able to do this. And DanSalvato has programmed a lot of things, including Super Mario World related. Basically, back in, I believe, 2015, a runner by the name of Dram55 ran a Super Mario World fan game called Kaizo Mario World, and that has spawned a lot of different runs since of several Kaizo games, and this is a different genre we call Standard. And BD, can you explain what that is? I'm going to hit New Game, but the time doesn't start until I make the selection after this intro cutscene.
Yeah, so a standard SMW fan game, at least as we call it at SMW Central, is basically the community saying, we would like more Super Mario World. We want to make more of the game that we love, and we want to do it with new graphics, we want to do it with new music, and maybe some new mechanics, but we love SMW, and we want that gameplay. Kaizo fan games are way more, we're bored of that gameplay, and we want to do some other stuff, but for a standard SMW game, we're really just going to see a lot of beautiful gameplay that we would see in the classics, but with some new looks and some new sounds.
All right, so crowd, let me know what your favorite is. I'm gonna count down and I'll pick whatever I hear. 3, 2, 1, go.
Got a lot of autumn fans out there.
The autumn coming strong, yes.
I mean, it is a cool word, I'll admit. So if you've ever watched a Super Mario Bros. 3 speedrun, this is very similar. I'm going to usually get P speed, and we're just never going to slow down.
That is a big difference running a standard fan game where we have a lot of improvisation in our approach to the game, you know, how we approach it. In Kaizo, which is what the GDQ crowd is probably used to, there's not a lot of room for error. That was a flawless World
That was, yeah, we're off the races, yo.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out real quick to everyone here in the crowd and everyone in chat. If you see something that you think looks really cool, I want you to go like, ooh, or ah, because White Yoshi Egg, or Y, who made this fan game, spent 9 years on it, and a lot of that time was meant making it look this good and making it sound this good. So you're gonna see some very beautiful graphics as part of this fan game, and if you see something that you especially like, please just ooh and ah, because Y deserves the love for all of the work he put into making this thing.
Yeah, a lot of really amazing layering, parallax layers as well, so you get like these really 3D looking backgrounds with the clouds and the ground. There's a lot of really amazing stuff to look at.
Now we have even more water.
Yeah, so our first water level of the run, there will be 4 of these, and usually the water levels are quite slow, and admittedly, that is how they are in general, but the way this game does it, there are some interesting things. But I'll send it over to Curry for a couple donations, if you don't mind.
Of course. I have $50 from Zopdash who says, I'm so excited to see Thab play this absolutely beautiful game. Good luck with all this seasonal plumbing. And $10 from Garpengower who says, go Thab!
Thank you. So we're gonna grab this throw block, and when you hold an item, you can swim much faster, but only horizontally. It's actually a bit slower vertically, so you may see me throw or drop this occasionally. Unfortunately, you can't really sink faster, and we're already near the end of this.
Yeah, all of the mechanics you're seeing Fab explain and play with, those are vanilla Super Mario World mechanics that are just being used in a different way. Y is very quick to say that just because something is standard doesn't mean it's entirely identical. You do have to know some things about SMW to really maximize the speedrun strats, which, I mean, Thab's played enough SMW for all of us combined. I think he's pretty familiar with how this works.
Nice. Cruising through World 1 right now.
I should mention that I deliberately kind of avoided seeing some of, like a lot of this run before getting on the couch. I kind of just wandered up here, but man, first of all, the visual. Look at these beams of light coming from the sky. Like, that's really amazing. And second, doesn't just seeing this game, it like makes you want to play it, you know? It's so beautiful, and it's like a world that you feel like you want to be in, and that's something that I just really respect and appreciate about game design.
Thank you for the opportune segue for me to say, if you'd like to play this, it is available on smwcentral.net right now for free.
Yeah,
That's true. So a big difference with Standard versus Kaizo, you may have seen me take damage there, and in Kaizo, that would usually, you just be dead, start the level over. Standard, you know, like when you're playing the original SMW, they wouldn't do that to you. It's kind of the same design philosophy.
It's much more approachable. If you're looking to get into playing these games, you could start with standard, and it's very approachable. You know, your kids could play it. Unlike Kaizo, which is very demanding, even the easiest Kaizo is pretty difficult. In standard, you know, it's a lot like playing the original Super Mario World.
So this is our first spring level in spring. These mushrooms are actually just springs that we keep bouncing on. And a really cool part of that is that because they're reskinned springs, touching them doesn't actually feel like ground. So a lot of these P-speed strats that Thab is doing is possible because the springs that these mushrooms are helping him maintain P-speed in places he otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that one's very cool.
That was a cool level.
Also, I don't know if I'm proud or disappointed, chat, but this is 5 levels in and no one's yelled orb.
Every level ends in a giant orb.
Well, they look more like beach balls, kind of, just a little fluffier.
Yeah, but you try yelling that in a crowd like that.
Shoutouts to these big boos. They just look so good.
I'm creating a new autumn fall situation on the fly here.
Oh no. This is a ghost house. Another cool thing about standard fan games is that the ghost houses are a lot truer to the original Super Mario World ghost houses, which is that they're puzzly, they're mazy, they're a little bit frustrating. And standard hacks have a lot more room to play with that idea.
I love these tilted platforms. It's so aesthetically pleasing, but also mechanically interesting to have to jump from slope to slope like that.
Yeah.
Really cool touch.
You're seeing Thab skip some of these giant coins. Those are reskinned dragon coins, effectively. There's a few in every level, and in other runs you would be collecting them. But since this is an any percent, I'm proud of you all. I am very proud of you all. Thank you. We're going to be skipping past all the dragon coins. You'll collect some as just part of the strat, but it's not the point.
So we're into the first castle now, and there's a lot of thwomps here. You know, you wonder when you play a Mario game, like, what is going on in this castle? Like, who would ever show up here to do anything? There's no room to move. It's very dangerous.
They're not happy to have you here.
Yeah, we're just kind of showing up here. And to be fair, in the intro cutscene, it did mention this is a game with just zero plot. We're just playing the game.
We're going through the seasons.
It's a game about time travel.
Yes, Mario can time travel in this.
All right, this is history, everybody. This is GDQ's first ever thwomp boss.
I love that face.
He's very angry.
Good. It
wants you out. And this is also GDQ's first ever standard hack being run.
It is true.
Right.
In the 10 years since SMW fan games have been run at GDQ, this is the first time a non-Kaizo designed fan game is being featured on the main stage. And for all of us at SMW Central, that means the world because we love these games, even though Thab is beating them very quickly. And we want more people to see just how beautiful and how exciting and how engaging these fan games can be, even if they aren't Kaizo difficulty level engaging.
Yeah, so now we're in the best season, summer. I like heat, I do not like cold, and summer's my favorite.
I disagree.
You have lost the crowd.
Tough crowd, wow.
I'm with you, Thab.
Thank you.
And so this Lakitu is throwing giant hay bales at us.
Yes, as happens in the summer.
Yeah, and actually as a consequence of this, you're supposed to be jumping off these hay bales. I won't be doing that, but there is a patch applied to this to allow Mario to have coyote time where if you run off a ledge, you float just in the air and you can jump off of thin air for a little while. Without that, it would be near impossible to jump off these hay bales. It works very well.
What have I done?
You know what you did.
So this is our sort of cape, tanuki, raccoon suit, whatever you want to call it. It's actually changed from the original game. If you've watched a Super Mario World run, you may have seen they fly over levels a lot. And Y decided to just change it to where it has the physics of spin flying. Basically, you can't continuously ascend like you can with a normal cape. And we still fly a lot. But this is a purely vanilla game, and do one of you want to explain the consequences of this being purely vanilla cape.
Yes, I mean, it comes with all the jank associated with vanilla cape. Yes, you can't cape pump, but you still have vanilla float frame rule, which means that if you let go of jump in the air, there could be up to anywhere from 0 to 16 frames before you actually start descending, which makes this hard to route because you need to work around that. If you want to fall quickly to land and take off again, you have to plan around the possibility of Mario not actually falling for perhaps 16 frames.
I had no idea that you had to wait up to 16 frames.
Yeah, that's just a vanilla property. It's set to 0 when you first jump, so it can be consistent, but most of the time you just don't really know. And a lot of modern fan games patch that out. They have consistent, 8 frames you fall or you fall immediately, but this does not have anything like that. And to be fair, Y did not account for this game being speedrun, so you can't really blame it.
Well, see, in Thumber, it's thematically appropriate to call it a beach ball.
That's true.
True.
All right, so here's our second water level. You'll see these seahorses here. They attempt to match Mario's either his X or his Y position, whichever one they're attuned to. This is actually a pretty challenging level, both in this run and if you play this for the first time. It's not an easy water level.
These seahorses are just a menace.
But we could get a couple donations, Curry, if you want.
I'm happy to oblige. I have $15 from Don, who says, excited to be procrastinating work while watching one of my favorite streamers, Thabeast. Thank you for a donation. And maybe while you're sitting there procrastinating on work, and maybe everyone else sitting here, tell me what your favorite season is, because I feel like we had a bit of a kerfuffle there earlier. Send me a donation, tell me what your favorite season is, and we'll see which one's the most popular.
If you have hot autumn versus fall takes, we'll take those too.
Send in those takes. We love to hear hot takes.
Okay, we're going to abandon that shell now. The goal is to carry it through the level, but unfortunately it keeps waking up, which makes it very difficult. Thankfully, if you do mess up, we can just keep swimming.
That's right. The shell can be useful in speedruns just to help us move faster, but there is a Koopa inside, which makes it pretty precise.
Why actually put the Koopa inside that for people who are playing this for the first time to remind them that they need to drop it every so often? Because the shell will start to shake when the Koopa is about to wake up, and that's meant to warn the player, hey, heads up, you're about to be holding a Koopa and not just a shell. So in the speed run, it's more annoying than it is helpful, but for players that are playing this for the first time, it's a nice little reminder. Beach orb?
Beach orb.
All right, so I love this rain effect. I mention this every time I get to this level.
This is a certified ooh moment. Look at this rain. It's so good.
So you may see these slugs here. They're very bouncy, kind of like mushrooms. I don't think that's how it is in real life, but in the Mushroom Kingdom, that's just how things work.
I mean, I haven't tried.
Please do not try this in real life.
Now I'm curious. These slugs are adorable though, and they make for some really cool speed strats too. There's one coming up that it's very nice to look at, but they also don't take away speeds. You can just jump around all willy-nilly. Yes, that was
nice.
Beautiful. Nice. That's a very tough strat to pull off.
Wow.
There we go.
There it is.
The full end.
That was so good,
great.
y'all.
One of the trickier ones in the run. Now we have the level with the global timer lava. There's a few levels that have these global timers. So no matter how fast you go or slow you go, this lava is going to go at a fixed interval throughout the entire level. It makes it really hard to route. And if you just lose a couple frames, it could throw off some strat here and there. So you have to take this level a little bit more careful.
I don't know how I grabbed that rope. Here we go. Oh, I cannot believe it.
By far the hardest
Wow,
trick.
I thought this was standard. What are we doing?
I told you not to go for that, Thab.
You know, it's quite challenging, and I had to do it.
It's so risky.
Just a flex.
Yeah, the shell jump officially makes this Kaizo, by the way.
We're not going to grab that mushroom. We'll get this one instead.
Oh,
So, fun fact, this doesn't kill you. It's just water down here.
Lava considered harmful,
It's
but not
considered
required.
harmful.
It's not deadly.
It's for your consideration.
All right, we're not going to go for this.
oh. These
Sometimes you can make that
I
cycle.
no,
It's
respect, though.
very
Yeah.
quick.
Respect. All right, auto-scroller time.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give it up.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah, I think, Curry, if you want a couple donations to share while we do this auto-scroller, now's a great time.
Of course. I've got $30 from GlitchCat7 who says,
Hey.
You're an outstanding player and an even better friend. I'm so happy to see you showing off this beautiful game on the big stage. Shoutouts to BD, Dan, and Schema Tuna on the couch. And Thab, when will we get to see you speedrun All Ducks Go to Heaven on Amiga?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow. That is a deep cut.
Oh my God.
Maybe for the silly block. Yeah, one more.
All right, $10 from Ristic Kitten who says, hey there, I always love watching the GGQ events and seeing games I grew up with get completely broken by the runners and all for amazing causes. Keep up the great work, runners, and good luck, Thab.
So this is the second Ghost House, and like we said, Ghost House is in the original game, kind of puzzly, more trolly is accurate. We're just going back and forth in this. It may seem like nonsense, and I think a lot of people who play this may get frustrated by a couple of the Ghost House levels on their first playthrough.
So the theme of this particular level is a cemetery by a beach.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That is very
That's
tough
great.
to make, actually. It saves a small amount of time, but it's fun to do.
Yeah, if you're fast there, you can beat the cycle of the P-switch and get a tail early here, which is nice.
I want to give a shout out to the German Restream and all of the German SMW and Kaizo people, because a lot of the scenes that you're seeing here are scenes that Y has taken from Northern Germany and taken photos of and either digitally illustrated or photo illustrated them into backgrounds here on a Plumber for All Seasons levels. So
That's amazing.
Huge shout out to the German speedrunning community. We hope you see some of your home country here in this game as well.
Greetings to Germany.
Greetings to Germany, yes.
So very important to have the Cape Tanuki, whatever you want to call it here. There's a water temple puzzle here, basically, from Ocarina of Time, and I don't want to do that.
So we just skip all these beautiful water level puzzles here. And this is why it was so important to get the tail from the previous area. Wow, that was close.
Yeah. That fish blocks you if it's in water.
If the fish becomes solid while you're there too, it can kill you. So that was scary. But we did it.
We're doing a little improvising here.
Yep.
So yes, you can see we lower the water level. This is how you're supposed to do the level. But like I said, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do something else.
Can you imagine if we had a way to fly over the actual water temple in Ocarina of Time?
That would be amazing.
I don't know.
Tough flights here.
I thought it was fun.
That's fine.
Yeah, you'll notice that running back and forth to get flight. And that's something that's a vanilla property, is that you don't just have to run in a straight line. You just have to run enough to get P-speed to make the takeoff happen. Now we have an angry firefight.
Yes. The flower has consumed another flower, and we can't allow that.
No, that's just weird.
By the way, I just want to say we saved about 2 minutes having Tanuki suit in that level. You skip so much. It's such a slow process if you don't have it.
It's a fun puzzle, though. Don't get me wrong. Just we're speedrunning here.
For speedrunning, that is by far the biggest time save.
All right, shout out to Right Down the Middle.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's the second time in a row I've done that.
Beautiful.
All right.
And that's it.
Put out the fire flower.
All right, so Mario's going to time travel again. We're going into autumn, not fall. And some acorns here. Classic autumn.
Yes.
We get the beautiful clouds again, too. Look at that 3D.
These are really just reskinned footballs, but for this game, they are acorns. Very painful
This
acorns.
guy's playing a little too aggressively.
Yeah, that's the good thing about standard is you can improvise a lot. So much room to just play around. And it really changes just the process of routing this. I remember when I routed it, I was just me in my room for a month.
That's really the design intention. A lot of Mario games is just that it's like intrinsically fun to exist as Mario in these games, you know. And that really started with SMW, moved on to SM64, Odyssey, and all of that. And the world almost acts as like a playground to maximize the fun that you have just being Mario.
Yeah, just play around with the mechanics and just the controls of the game.
You know, it's really funny because in a 1991 strategy guide, they were asked, what's one of your favorite parts of making games? And it's to be able to create playgrounds for people to play in over and over and over again.
That's amazing.
So we take that to heart, and
yeah,
we like making playgrounds, and games like this are just another way of making a new playground to play in.
We have our third water level.
Yeah, so here's a good example. Just a simple changing of the palette can make it
Whoa.
absolutely beautiful.
That's amazing.
This song is goated.
This is such a good song. You'll notice that Mario's hat is lit still, even though everything else is. And the reason for that is, according to why, it's hard to make custom player graphics.
All the music, by the way, in this game is custom made.
Not just custom, but original.
Yeah, original music.
Original tracks.
Well, I made a few of them, but mostly had friends help out. I love this track. My favorite track is yet to come, though. You'll know it.
Probably a good time for donations, Curry.
Absolutely. And with all the calls we've been doing, they've been returning that love right back to us. I've got $25 from Demi, who says, greetings from Germany. Howard from the southern part. It's beautiful here, too. $20 from Anju Hime-chan, who says, greetings from Germany. And $25 from Shovda, who says, my favorite season is Paprika.
Hi, Shovda.
That's a good answer. Hi, Shavda.
Paprika is the best seasoning.
Wow, I'm not prepared to get into that take war right now.
Yeah, I mean, garlic exists.
I put it on everything.
There, let's stick to something there's only 4 of, and not like hundreds.
I don't know. I live in southern Indiana. We have like 2 seasons total now.
You got a few more, Curry?
I sure do. $500 from Jen, who says,
Whoa.
shout outs to FabChat.
Thank you so much, Jen.
And $50 from 10 out of 10 Goldblums, who says, go Ichiban! And Fab.
Nice. That wasn't a dark orb, yes. That was indeed.
All right, so you notice I intentionally lost our cape, but we just get it back. This just looks beautiful, this level design. Just everything about this game, it looks amazing.
It's so artistically pleasing.
Yes.
And
That's
this is
fine.
the best world because you get capes everywhere here. Now that it's fall, there are just leaves all over the place. This is also the best level to come back to get a leaf if you need one later, because there's one right at the beginning. Nice.
Ooh.
Take damage
It's true,
intentionally
yeah, it's
there.
autumn.
It is
We're
autumn.
not calling this fall.
You see these falling leaf platforms in a lot of other more custom gameplay SMW games as sort of a way to force sort of a falling timed platform. Here, they just look really pretty, and Y uses them to build a more standard, more forgiving type of level design.
I do like these leaves,
Wow.
these falling leaves, a lot better than the one people usually use. Nice. I believe the next level is Get on Top. This is a very good one to have the power up in.
Yes.
Another one where we can skip quite a lot. It's a vertical level, so flying is very, very powerful here.
This is gonna look really cool, y'all.
Nice.
Wow.
Ooh. Hey, we got the full skip there.
Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a long level when you play it normally, but shout out to Tuna. That was a very clever route.
This is my favorite level in the entire game, I think.
A lot of pumpkins on
Whoa.
fire.
Okay.
Somebody filled the pumpkins with oil, I guess, and lit them on
Yeah,
fire.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Not sure what the
there.
lore is here.
There is no story in this game.
No, the pumpkins are just on fire. Don't question it.
But yeah, I think some people may disagree with you, BD, when they play this for the first time. This level is, even when I was learning the speedrun, I was continuously like, where do I go?
Yeah, there's a whole just culture of SMW ghost houses And some Kaizo games have that element to their ghost houses, but usually they cut that stuff out. But in Standard's culture, you have this whole lineage of ghost houses being a bit complex and sometimes frustrating and just making you go all over and question yourself and your existence. And there's something magical to that, I think.
This is my favorite song in the game, by the way.
Yeah. Shout out to those of you with very deep memories that this song was actually used in one of our SMW Kaiser relay levels a couple years ago for G-Breeze and Miracle Water using it. This is the second best pun in the game, a grazing mace.
And like the lava tower level, this is also using the global timer for all the maces. So it's also very difficult to have a consistent route here.
Yes.
So we're just gonna make our way through.
Extremely difficult.
Yes.
They literally have 3D perspective through these windows. It's just like
I've
freaking
never
amazing.
noticed that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know if I knew windows were there, to be honest. Oh, that was interesting.
That's something else you're often more likely to get with standard fan games, which is just incredible focus on graphics. With Kaizo, a lot of the time, it's not as much of a focus. There are beautiful Kaizo fan games out there, but standard often really focuses in on that specifically. There's plenty of Kaizo fan games that are almost just completely graphical showcases.
Yeah, make sure you tune in on Thursday night for one of them when Shoujo runs Sayonara Mario World 2.
Yes, definitely.
The beautiful Kaizo.
All right, this is not the Chuck boss you might have seen in other GDQ runs. This one's a little bit more reserved.
We got Charge and Chonk here.
Chalk, that's the canonical name. Yeah.
Again with the acorns, are there acorns in Germany in fall? Autumn?
Well, I would assume that even the German oak trees are also like acorn producers, yes.
I see.
I would think so. I've not been, so I don't know.
I've got some comments from folks in Germany if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah, sure.
$25 from Turkenheim who says greetings from Germany, and $20 from Demony who says greetings from northern Germany. It is beautiful here indeed. So it's great.
Yeah, based on this game, it does look beautiful. And our friend Charge and Chonk, is that what we called it?
Yeah, that's what
That's right.
canonical name now.
So we're gonna do something very interesting here. This is just a fun little thing. You know.
So normally you get locked to the ground there, but if you bounce on the chunk, then you'll actually be able to have free movement and grab the orb early. And now we're in winter, which is
The worst season.
The best season?
I'm sorry,
Best
but it is.
Got a lot of winter enjoyers.
I will defend that take.
when I'm inside playing video games, I want it to be cold outside, so I feel justified that I'm inside playing video games.
Honestly, you're so real for that.
Yeah.
I love this game, like the focus on larger enemies, like these, just these big sprites are so attractive.
Yeah.
I know that this game uses an enhancement chip called SA1, which kind of lifts the sprite limit, and it's very easy to patch into SMW and give the artist a lot more breathing room and have more sprites on the screen with less of a performance.
Like the
hit.
snow, for instance.
Oh goodness, no.
The snow,
That snow is a different effect. There's something called HDMA, where on classic systems, the frame doesn't get drawn all at once. It gets drawn line by line down the screen, and using HDMA, you can actually give it instructions to change, for example, the amount of scrolling or even the color palette on a per line basis as the screen is being drawn. And that's how we get some really interesting effects, like palette effects and like this parallax that you're seeing. They're using HDMA for that.
Right. I love the ice in the background here.
Yeah.
This is I think the prettiest level. This is a hard thing to say, but I think of all the worlds, winter might be the prettiest start to end world in the entire game.
Just the way the front of the ice moves more slowly than the back, it just really feels like you're on a frozen lake.
Also, this might actually be a Kaizo fan game because earlier we had a shell jump and now we have bumpties.
And why do they have carrots in their head, by the way? That's interesting.
Solidarity.
The snowman, yeah. Nice.
This run is going very well. I don't know that I've ever made it this far deathless. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. But didn't you say you got a PB deathless?
That is true, yeah. It was in the practice room and untimed. I have no idea what time I got. It was here at the event.
Yep. So now if anybody ever beats your record, you can say you probably beat it in the practice room.
So our last water level, and this is, honestly, this level's just a vibe. Under the ice, thematically, this is very cool. You see these spinning ground tiles. This is a pretty challenging level, and even in the speed run, it's hard to focus. This is probably the longest level in the run, but we're going to get out of it clean.
Yeah, and I will say, Y is, of all the things in this game, Y is proudest of the obstacle that leads right into the checkpoint, and you'll know it when you see it, trust me.
Yes, so it's coming up here very shortly. I think on people's first playthroughs, they probably are like, what is this? And it's right here. So the entire level is shifting now.
Wow.
But I have a very consistent way to just cleanly get through that.
Yep. Why admit that he should have cut that, but he kept it, and I'm glad he did.
So now in classic Mario fashion, we have a very long auto-scroller. Curry, you got some donations?
I absolutely do. I have $50 from Phi10, who agrees with what we said earlier. My favorite season is winter. I just love snow. Always great to see Thab speedrunning. Let's keep up this momentum. $50 from Andrew says, watching SMW is my favorite part of any GDQ, and I'm loving this Thab run. Fall is the best season.
Okay. I feel like I get a lot of people who are saying summer or winter, like the extremes are the best, but it's good to hear fall.
Yeah, my personal favorite season is autumn.
Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to the autumn lovers here in the chat.
You got a couple more, Curry?
Yeah, I do. I've got $25 from Oogly Man, who says, set an alarm to make sure I got around to donating during my favorite creators run, Thabeast. Thanks for years of entertainment, and good luck on the rest of the run.
Thank you so much.
Man, I can't believe the attention to detail on like the surface of this water here. There's not only parallax there, and you see it like once in this auto scroller, but there was even a layer in front of these icebergs with like some semi-transparency going on. Like, look at that. That's so crazy. Even when you poke your head through, it's like you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, definitely recommend playing this. If you get into the special world levels, it does get a bit harder than the original game, but this is pretty close in difficulty. Like, you don't have to be a top tier gamer to get through this. Like, even if you, maybe you'll enjoy it and want to speedrun it.
Yeah, I would say that anytime anyone asks me what SMW fan game they should play first, regardless of how much experience they have, this is the game I recommend everyone play first.
Same. This is where you start.
So, Chad, if you have any kind of vibe emotes, this is the level to post them in. This song is just so good.
Yeah, this is my favorite port. Another level where we can just skip it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. We're jumping through trees, but you can see just how long this goes, even flying. And I don't know what is over here to the right. I don't intend to find out today.
I've never been over there.
That is for you to find out.
That is for you to find out in your first playthrough of this. Nice.
Kind of reminds me of the original Turok game. There's like a big tree fortress level.
Yes, I often think of Turok the Dinosaur Hunter when I watch people play this.
I mean, I had to mention the N64 somehow during
That's
this.
true, yeah. You had to get that in.
Nice. Yeah, another level where we get to skip it. And it's too bad because the port's so great.
Yeah, so this is the one big unintended thing. Tuna, you want to talk about this?
Sure.
Whoa.
I mean, there
Hold
it
on
is.
a second.
What is there to say? A shout out to RB Pimlico for helping discover that. You can just clip through that slope there because it's a different slope tile than it's supposed to be. And I told why, and he was disappointed, but it is what it is. And now you can skip this level too.
Even if you didn't put it on Y, I'd just be like, yeah, it's slopes in SMW.
It's slopes, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
slopes.
You can't put slopes in SMW without stuff like this happening.
It's the tools you're working with, not the person using them.
That's true.
Right. I love slopes.
So good. Okay, this is the best pun in the game.
The
Ghost of Christmas Present.
So, quick reminder if you've forgotten, in the original SMW, there's these boos that turn into cement blocks. They've been altered a bit here. You'll see in just a second. I'm hearing some interesting things. I don't usually play this with headphones, this song.
I like this music.
They're the Christmas presents.
Yeah, it's not the Ghost of Christmas Present, it's the Ghost of Christmas Present.
This is another classic
All right.
ghost house
1,
here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, those blocks are there specifically to keep Thab from doing that.
But there's just enough tiles there that you can still get P-speed. If you're specific, you can't just run into the wall. You have to be precise a bit with how you turn around so you preserve P-meter as optimally as possible.
It's the worst checkpoint in the game.
Yeah, honestly, this run's going amazing, but I'm still going to get this in the interest of safety.
Yep, it's far away just despite speedrunners.
We could probably get a donation here. We got to lead this boo up to enter a door.
Sure thing. I'd like to give an update for everyone. We are under $10,000 left for that Bad Big the Cat's check in Sonic Adventure 2. We are almost there.
Yes, we need
Get your
Big the
donations
Cat.
in.
I want to see Big the Cat.
Me too.
We've lured this ghost all the way up to the door. This door was there at the beginning of the
All right.
level, but we couldn't get
So this part's very fun. It's a purely vertical section, and there's slopes here, which you can't build up flight on slopes. But if you strategically jump into them with P-speed, you can.
You have to be very careful that you build up.
Oh,
Wow.
that was such a good room, y'all. Give it up for that. That was. That was.
And it loops back to where we started. We're now above the initial room. And we'll see in the next room. I really question this house design. So there's this pipe. Pipe's in the house. That's already strange, but this is dangerous. Why is this here?
You don't even know you're gonna fall.
It's fine. There's no story and there's no architectural philosophy either.
This house is built for people who don't take fall damage.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is it full of ghosts?
And here's just
Hey,
a
happy
beautiful
holidays,
scene.
everybody.
Well,
Great level.
Great level.
All right. So by far the hardest level in the speed run. We will see how this goes.
Yeah, there's no global timers in this one, but there's just a lot going on.
I'm having another moment with the
Look at
glowing
the
lights
snow
on the
through-
walls.
The snow went through the windows.
Oh my
the glowing
goodness.
lights on the walls.
Yeah, so one thing that makes this so difficult is the tail does nothing to these snowballs they're throwing. You just have to avoid them.
I wish you could spin them, but you cannot. You have to avoid them. Got all the different kinds of snowmen coming to keep you from finishing winter, I guess.
Yeah.
They want to keep you in
And,
winter.
I don't know why. Like, what did Mario do besides go into everybody's castle, defeat the owners there? Like, he's not doing anything wrong.
No,
Clearly.
that's what he's meant to do.
He's just taking a stroll.
You can't help it.
It's just a jaunt through the seasons, that's all.
That is nature.
It's not his fault the castle was in the way.
It's in the Mushroom Kingdom,
Nice.
Mario's like an environmental hazard, just a seasonal, immovable object that plows through your abode.
We got through it, no problem.
It's okay, they build the
Honestly,
architecture for him.
this run's going so well. We may be quite a bit under the estimate what I expected. This has gone beyond my wildest dreams.
Shout out to Donkey Kong Country 3, by the way. We have a snowman boss throwing snowballs at you.
Now, I am a winter hater, but that igloo back there looks just unbelievably cozy. I would love to be back there.
Me too. And just that light effect is something that you never really see on this NES. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
I will say that this is the one boss I'm okay with being angry at you because that was a cool hat.
You know what? It's a little toxic. I don't like the hat.
Yeah.
Wow.
The snowman's right there, Thab.
We could probably get a couple donations in.
Yeah, I'm happy to provide some positivity instead of this toxicity here. I have $100 from Captain Awesome, who says, "Go Thab, go."
Oh, thank you.
$350 from Mooing Lemur, who says, "Hi from the audience, donating a little more this time as life-saving healthcare is needed around the world more than ever." And $50 from I Have One Big Eye, who says, "Hi Thab, do it midair."
Do a midair.
There actually is a midair strat in this as one of the backups. Thankfully, we didn't mess up, so we didn't need it. And now he's just ahead, I guess. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Rough
It's
deal.
fine. Y'all, we're on the last level. The 5th season,
Bowser, I guess.
the season finale.
So this is very cool, though. We're going to go back through everything we've seen. So remember these flowers in spring. It was a good time.
Reminisce a little bit here. I'm gonna try to get through all these rooms again. getting P-Speed, trying not to lose it. You know the drill.
If this were a Kaizo game, we would call this a 4-room castle. But unlike a Kaizo game, you're going to get a checkpoint and a power-up every time you clear a room.
Right.
So we love that.
Because it's a standard game, and it wants you to be happy.
Famously, Kaizo does not. It's
no,
fine.
Kaizo is trying to ruin your life.
So Y was very generous. You'd think these power-ups would not reset, but every time you finish a room, they do. Makes this a lot more approachable as a final gauntlet.
Here we have the crabs are back, dolphins.
Friends we made along the way.
That's right.
Yeah, I gotta say that the design trope of like kind of the last stage or chapter being a medley, it just doesn't get old. Like, it's something that I love personally. It's just, you have all these good memories of the game and it takes you back through it one last time.
Yeah, I agree.
And it just makes sure that you remember what you played.
And they give you a cape so you can just fly over it and admire it from below.
So now I believe we're going into autumn. And don't worry, there's acorns.
There's still acorns.
I know you were worried, but we're fine.
Yep. Personally, I think chestnuts are more painful on contact, but acorns, they hurt too.
Yeah, I'm surprised you have experience with that.
Oh yeah, just hucking chestnuts at each other as a kid.
Yeah, I grew up with a walnut tree in my backyard, and those hurt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were mean.
It was fun though.
It was fun, yeah.
For us, it was pine cones.
Oh, no. Or those little spiky gumballs.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like pine cones would hurt as much because they're kind of
No, it's like the half-mature ones that are still nice and dense.
I see. Yeah.
All right, we're coming up here on winter, which is probably a good time to actually talk about the final boss here. Two things. We're not really going to get a chance to talk about it because we're going to be talking about what Thab is doing, but the final boss sprite for this is probably the most detailed and most beautiful single sprite in the game. So be prepared to see something really cool, because also something really cool is shout out to Author Blues in general, but just shout out to Author Blues in specific for watching Thab play the final boss and was like, wow, that's slow. Can you do it faster? And through labbing, Thab, Auth, and I found a brand new strat in the practice room for this boss. And
oh, we got the wrong word.
Oh, this happens. This is fine. This is a known glitch at Y profusely apologizes for, but Thab went too fast for the door.
And we wrong worked back in the summer.
Not on this page.
All right, it is time to assemble the squad, y'all.
Yes.
Time for squad skip.
Also, the time happens when Bowser gets hit by the 5th Mecha Koopa.
Wow.
So yeah, look at this sprite. It's beautiful. So this is an auto-scroll Bowser. He's probably angry we invaded all his castles. I get it, but
it's off season. Or it's all seasons technically, but.
So we're going to hit him, and things are going to go deviate from the normal gameplay here in a second.
Yeah, normally when you hit Bowser for the second time, the auto-scroller starts. But if you just don't, then it doesn't. And you just keep accumulating ammo.
You've heard of ball skip in vanilla Super Mario World, but what if there were 4 of them?
That's right.
One for each season.
It's true. So Thab is here to assemble the squad of Mecha Koopas. These fireballs and shots are on a timer, so it's really just a matter of avoiding it. But once the squad is all together, you're going to see Thab do a very quick move, and time is coming up actually pretty soon.
Oh, that's fine.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So that is a backup.
Yeah.
It's a backup skip. If you hit Bowser twice in rapid succession, it will actually skip the spawn of the sprite that triggers the auto scroll.
Wow.
That was interesting.
That's never happened.
That.
That's never happened before, y'all.
We're doing new things here.
We're discovering live.
Yeah, Bowser's nervous too. His aim is off.
Yeah, he kind of follows your Y position. I think he's a little off from the deviation we did, so I'm just going to stand a little higher than usual.
I would like to point out that even this sort of backup strat is a 20-second save.
And that's time.
Nice.
What is that? That is, goodness me, that is a 42-27.
Wow, that's
That's
Very good.
actually a new world record.
Let's go.
By over a minute. I can't
Over a minute?
I can't
My
believe
lord.
You're
That is
kidding me.
an absolute obliteration.
it. Wow.
Who are you?
Yeah, so that's a Plumber for all seasons. Shout outs to GDQ for having me and my couch for having my back during the run. Helps me stay calm up here. And shout outs to Y for making this.
Yes.
Definitely. If you get into any Mario World fan game, I choose this one. It's got pretty much everything you want. Yeah, do you all have anything you want to add?
Shout out to SMW Central
Yes.
for being the home base for a lot of the Super Mario World community. SMWCentral.net, we have resources for you to get involved playing these games, making these games, getting involved in the community. It's all there, SMWCentral.net.
And shout out to Thad for making this run real, taking my ILs and
This is,
actually stitching
this is
them
important, by
together.
the way.
Yeah,
Dan, do you have any shout outs?
take note of that.
Game complete.
Game complete.
I believe that's all we have. Thanks, everybody.